The first thing you need to do is to realize that what you've been doing so far was not giving unconditional love. What? Are you kidding me? Anybody who got upset here would be totally normal. I know. You're doing so much for them. You sacrificed your life, your body, your time, your literally your entire life for this family. Yes. Pat on the back. No, I'm not diminishing your sacrifices. You did that. And it's amazing. They are lucky to have you. And also, it was not unconditional. What were your conditions? Every time you do something for them, do you get resentful? Do you get upset when you don't hear thank you? When you don't get appreciation for it? Do you feel not respected, not recognized, that you're doing way too much and getting too little for it back? Those would be the clues. Whenever you feel you're giving, and there's not enough coming back, that would tell me it was not unconditional love who made you give so much. It was your people pleaser, childhood trauma. What? Yes. Go back to your childhood. Were you rewarded for putting others first, or were you pushed not to think about yourself because that's selfish and egocentric and not right? You have to think of others first. You're not allowed to say what you need. They need to go first. You need to take care of others before you take care of yourself. Were you raised this way? And were you raised that the more you did for others, that the more appreciation you got, that it was like a virtue? It was a good quality, personal character, character quality to have? Was your mom people pleaser maybe? And she was put as that martyr, self-sacrificing martyr, putting herself on a pedestal, that this is the ultimate goodness in the world? Yeah. And also, while being empathetic and nurturing and caring are strengths, no kidding, those are strengths. This world is standing on caring and nurturing and empathizing. However, what happens when your trauma abuses it, when you're made feel not good enough, unless you do that and use and overuse those strengths so that you're not feeling free to use them when it feels right, but you must use them, because if you don't, you're not good enough, you're a bad person, you're selfish, and go to your room and don't come back unless you feel like you need to, you can be giving until you die. That's a trauma. Your trauma, people pleaser childhood trauma, is abusing your strength. And whenever that happens in your relationship with your family, what cost are you paying for it? What cost did your mom pay for that? For being a boundaryless people pleaser, self-sacrificing martyr, resentful, bitter, complaining, not feeling respected enough, not feeling seen and heard, being exhausted and burned out of giving herself out. What was the cost of that for your mom? And what price are you paying for it? You see, this is the first realization that we need to get straight here in between us, okay? There's a difference between nurturing and taking care of people, and between unconditional love, because unconditional love gives without wanting anything back. Would you still go to the shop, would you still research all the organic food, homemade, from scratch recipes, and go to the shop, buy every ingredient, and spend the whole afternoon cooking, if nobody said thank you at the end of the dinner after you've put so much effort in it? Would you still be okay with that? Would you do it again? If your answer is yes, then well done, keep going. If the answer is bloody no, then here you have your answer. It was your pleaser who was doing it. Would you still be breastfeeding rather than giving a bottle? Would you still do cloth diapers rather than giving whatever brand of plastic stuff on the butt? Would you still do all of this cleaning, cooking, DIY projects with your kids, going to 1,000 different extracurricular activities and researching and doing games and preparing games for them and all of the neighbors' kids? Would you still do that if nobody saw it and actually knew that you did it? If nobody said thank you? Would you still do it? If the answer is no, then this is your flag. You're doing it to feed your not good enough people pleaser childhood trauma. So this is the difference. This is what you need to start really discerning and being present to. Am I going to do this now? Am I going to keep giving because I really love them? Or I love this activity. If you love cooking and if that's like really your passion because it makes you relax, it makes you feel great, like keep doing it. But if you do it to hear the thank you, if you do it because you want something back, then it's not unconditional by default. Do you hear the logic? Unconditional means you give without expecting anything back. If you're giving because you want to get at least some breadcrumbs of love and appreciation back, at least a little bit of confirmation that you're good enough, then it's not unconditional. It's a trade. Quid pro quo. I give you, I take care of you. If you give me back, if you make me feel good about myself as a mom. You see it? That's not what unconditional love is about. So, first step would be looking at it. Which of these actions I'm doing because I want to get something back? It's not actually that selfless. I'm not doing that because I'm a Mother Teresa. I'm doing that to feed the black hole inside of me that makes me feel not good enough. That's my way of making that at least like make myself feel better. I'm not so bad after all. I'm not such a bad mom after all because I'm doing this. So the judge in my head, let me be at least for a moment. I'm not such a terrible mom because I'm doing so much. I'm giving so much. So watch how those playing out. That's not unconditional love. That's your childhood trauma making you a people pleaser. Yes? Do we get that? It's very important that we get that. If you didn't, go back and listen again. Do the exercises again. This is the difference between people-pleasing and over-giving and then becoming self-sacrificing martyr that nobody even asked for. Nobody even asked for that. You just kept giving because you wanted to get back. That's the difference between people-pleaser, over-giving trauma, and unconditional love. So that's the thing on the one side. That's one reason why you keep over-giving. And that's why, after it became way too much, because your kids are always asking something from you. Either if you're at work, if you went back to work, or you're taking care of the house, and like being a mom is a full-time job, and so it takes so much of your energy. And then at the end of the day, even your husband or partner then comes, and he just keeps asking, and it feels like he's another child whose needs you need to meet. That is like, no, explosion. No, I can't do this anymore. Nobody. And like, that's when I turned into a momzilla. That's when I started yelling. It was just too much. I felt like I'm giving to everybody everything and nothing is coming back, not enough. So I was like, no. And because I didn't know how to have healthy boundaries and set it up front, I reacted this way. I exploded when it was already too late. It went already too far. And so yelling and being angry and resentful was the last option for me. I ran out of options, other options by then. I didn't know there were any other options.